What's up, guys? Welcome back to another SK7 Raven video. In today's video, we will be talking about everything coming to Marvel Rivals Season 3. So without further ado, let's hop into it. First things first, the villain of this season is Knull, the god of symbiotes. Some of you might know him from the Sony film Venom: The Last Dance. Some of you may not. All you really need to know is that he's the king of symbiotes. He's been around since the Marvel Universe literally was created. He kills celestials. He's a celestial being. Very, very powerful. This season, he has taken Hela as his queen and now plans to get revenge on the fact that Star-Lord and the other Guardians of the Galaxy crash landed on Klyntar and awoken him. So now to defeat Hela and Knull, we now have Phoenix and Blade, the vampire hunter, who will be coming in season 3.5. But now that you know this season's lore, let's hop into all of the character changes and things that are going to be coming in season 3 and season 3.5. First, we have Emma Frost, whose beam got nerfed, but now she gets her ultimate faster. The Thing got a new ability where instead of just bouncing to teammates and getting damage reduction, he can now jump to enemies and instantly hit them with a haymaker. This includes flying characters. So now his haymaker by default can now knock out flying characters clean out the air. So this would be amazing if he can get high ground and just start one-tapping like Storms and Iron Mans out of the air. It will be insane. Venom's corrosion now slows enemies from 15 to 25%. So Dive is kind of going to be back a little bit. Not as strong, I believe, but it still might make a good return. Stepping into the duelist category, first we have the Human Torch, who got a slight nerf to his little shotgun fire pellets, now only doing 5.5 damage per hit. But now he does have an anchor team up with Spider-Man, which we will get into later in this video, so stay tuned. Next, we have Iron Man, whose repulsor damage was toned down and his ultimate time was increased. This was due to how strong Iron Man and the flying meta was just getting, so they kind of had to just pull back a little bit on his poke strength. Finally, the most annoying survivability character ever is Mr. Fantastic. He's getting nerfed. In his inflated state, he's going from 400 to 350. Finally, that big, fat, inflated demon's getting nerfed. Next, for all of you dive characters, I have horrible news. Namor got a big buff. His projectile speed got absolutely jacked. So his primary fire and his big L2 trident both now are literal darts in the wind. Next up, we have Scarlet Witch, who got a decent buff to her ultimate. It will now pop faster, it doesn't have to charge for as long, and they even increased the damage of it, which is insane. Now it's going to do 850. I don't know, is that necessarily like a big change? Because yes, some people can survive Wanda ult, but it's so rare. Next, we have Spider-Man, who got a buff to his entire kit by, I believe, 5 damage. Very good, because we're kind of leaning back into this dive meta a little bit, but with some counters to it this time. So, honestly, not too bad. Judge J, Executioner! They very slightly nerfed Punisher. Now he does less damage, and his ult time needs more charge to pop. And I honestly feel like this is good, because right now, Punisher is popping his ult every single team fight. And it's like so quick, like you can turn a corner and Punisher has ult. Next, we have Bucky, who will have less damage fall off at over 40 meters. I feel like this is solid. Bucky, he's always been such a good pick, but it's not like he's been like insanely overused in my opinion. I feel like there's a lot less like Bucky's out right now. For Wolverine, I wouldn't even call it a necessary buff or nerf, more of a tweak. The duration of his leap is now from 4 to 5, but now there's a 12 to now 15 cooldown. And I feel like this is kind of good because we're already about to have him be like super charged up because I believe it's him and Phoenix, or it's like him and Human Torch. One of them's going to give him Fire Claws. Last but not least, we got the support category, so let's hop into it. Invisible Woman. I don't even know what to classify this as, a full nerf or a buff. I'm kind of actually confused, to be frank. They say her healing is now more reliable because now when she sends out the orb, it does 45 healing and 25 damage. And then when it comes back in, it does a little bit less healing and damage, but it doesn't seem like it's a nerf or a buff. It's just kind of a tweak. Next, who I feel like is a good change personally, is Loki, whose cost went from 4,000 to 4,300. And I feel like this is so good because this season, the amount of people that played Loki and then will play with a cloak and dagger and then pop double cloak and dagger all is just insane. They increased Mantis's time for the soul resurgence, and they reduced her amount of base healing, but they did increase it overall. And now her ult, which is more powerful, now has a longer ult charge. So they say it's an overall buff, but I don't necessarily know if that's it. Like, they say her healing's better, but I'm gonna just wait and see. Because I'm gonna mostly be playing Mantis this season, so I'll let y'all know. Last but not least, we have Ultron, whose dynamic flight acceleration effect now has less of a cooldown, but the healing that he's going to get from his little overhealth shield, his little deflection shield, that's going to be toned down a little bit. So they are, quote unquote, making Ultron more selfish. But I feel like it works. I feel like it's going to work because he's already usually in a triple like healing comp. So most of the time he's not even going to be like the main healer. So I feel like that's fine. For the final section, we're going to talk about the new team-ups. First, we have Spider-Man and Human Torch. Spider-Man would now have a fire tracer plus his regular tracer. So now you can L2 track someone, then hit them with the fire tracer, getting burn damage, and then you can still grab onto them, uppercut them, and do burn damage. So now Peter, for all those characters that you can't take out, he will now be leaving them severely low health. So not only is he going to be able to just destroy the backline literally in like 5 seconds, he probably is going to be able to deal with the DPS roster even better than before. Y'all already know I'm excited about this. Squirrel Girl has been added to the Stark Protocol team up. I'm kind of surprised this didn't happen sooner because Squirrel Girl was introduced in a Tony Stark Iron Man comic. So now what she can do is she can now put Tippy Toe onto one of Iron Man's repulsors and send her into the air as a homing missile. So now Squirrel Girl is finally going to be able to deal with flyers. I already played Squirrel Girl close range, so this is not an issue for me. But I know other people might say like she sucks against air characters, which she kind of does. So sadly, we are going to lose the Human Torch and Storm team up and the Squirrel Girl and Spider-Man team up. And then finally, Hela is going to join the symbiote shenanigans with Jeff and Venom. Overall this season, I don't know what we're kind of leaning towards, to be honest. With all of these balance changes, it's like we buffed a decent amount of the dive roster, and now we're finally have counters to the flying meta. But I don't really know what's going to define this point in Rivals Season 3, because I feel like this is going to be a crucial time, especially with everything that's been going on in the community. So with all these changes, hopefully Rivals will be better. I do like all of the changes from this season, and I honestly feel like this is going to help Rivals kind of evolve into its next meta, because right now we do have dive characters, but we also have characters that are strong against dive. So I honestly don't know what way this season is going to land. I feel like this is going to bring a lot of freshness and uniqueness to the game, and I'm really, really hoping. My one complaint is that we still have the engagement system and not skill-based matchmaking. I feel like this is going to kill Rivals, especially in a competitive sense. If y'all don't know, the engagement system is if you're on a win streak, the game is purposely going to put you in a harder lobby. And if you're on a losing streak, then it's going to give you easier opponents to keep you going. Them constantly doing this, and especially in competitive games, kind of ruins it. Because you're telling me I can be on a win streak, and then out of nowhere, I just get placed in a harder lobby. Sure, they might be same like rank with me currently, but they could have been Celestial while I was only in Plat. And this just sucks. Like, it's absolutely horrible. I feel like it doesn't feel like I'm fighting people on my skill level. Rivals matches go one or two ways. You either dominate the opposing team or you get absolutely dominated. And there's no in between. There's no fight. There's no 3-3. And it just honestly feels horrible. And I hope that the Rivals devs look at this and realize that everyone would prefer skill-based matchmaking over engagement. Or at least keep engagement in quick play. My rant aside, I hope that all of you enjoyed this video and y'all learned something, and I can't wait to drop my video going through the Battle Pass, all the new changes in the Marvel Rivals Season 3 reveal. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Laters!